Hutton Orbital. If you can hear this, then you really need to question your life choices.
This is a security announcement. It's in the vents. Do not go in after it. That's what it wants.
Hutton Orbital Radio News. Tune in every Thursday and get the horn.
It's eerily quiet on the parade at Hutton. No one is in the bars, McThargoid's is closed, and they haven't even had the food inspector in. Wanders is still open, but there's no sign of the usual comings and goings. It's so quiet you can actually hear the buzzing of the red neon sign outside. Well, at least we think that's where the buzzing's coming from. Litter blows into a corner, rises on a cushion of air, then drifts back across to the opposite corner as the ventilation fans change direction. A lone trucker who has fallen asleep under a food stall wakes up, checks his comm, and exclaims,
"Bollocks!"
before scuttling away down a side corridor. As we pan round and head to the upper rotunda at dizzying speed, voices and the occasional fart can be heard from the Hutton Games room. Inside, a huge throng of people sit watching a vid screen showing an infomercial, in which a man with his hair on upside down talks enthusiastically about the upcoming launch of a new ship from Falcon de Lacy. He eventually runs out of things to say and flicks the V's at the crowd before the screen fades to black. Just as everyone gets ready to return to their daily lives, the screen changes to show a brightly coloured test card with a countdown. They pause in anticipation, and the voice says,
"Our mics are live."
They tut, switch off the screen, and go outside to do something less boring instead.
Good evening, and welcome to the show. I'm terribly sorry that there wasn't one last week.
Hey, that's my job. I'll have the union on you.
We have a union?
Anytime, Litho.
Hang on. It's news to me. There's an apology union.
I've heard of the apology onion, but excuse me, but not the union.
Of course there's a union for apology officers. I mean, who else is going to protect apology officers' rights in the face of big business? No one steps in an apology officer and gets away with it.
Well, not unless they didn't see you and were being clumsy. I'm really sorry for stepping on your apology.
You can't say that! That's oppression! You'll be sorry.
I mean, are you sure about that? If I can't apologise...
He has a point, you know.
Well, consider my apology thoroughly retracted in that case. I'm just going to get on with some headlines instead. Daylight robbery as pythons purloined.
Litho crack snack lack.
It's quiet. Too quiet. Too hot, too messy. Week 90.
Prefabs are sprouting up everywhere.
Hutton runner in case of mistaken identity.
President Hudson gagged again.
Boom, boom, boom! Infrastructure failure.
First, this evening, breaking news from the Pilots Federation. Someone has broken into their top-secret super hush shipyards and stolen a bunch of Python Mark II ships, and some pre-ship kitted out ships that were being prepared for their big launch. These newfangled ships were due for release to a limited number of commanders next week, but it appears that after a press junket over at Shinrata, someone left a bunch of spaceship keys in a bowl and... No, it's not what you're thinking. It's not one of those gatherings. Yes, the eager, news-hungry hounds of the galaxy, as they do when presented with a buffet, scoffed the lot. The Burr, Commander Wotherspoon, and our very own Commander Flossy have been seen at the helm of their very own super shiny Python Mark II vessels. When asked for comment, the Pilots Federation gave us a simple...
Well, someone needed to test the prototypes out for us to make sure they were safe to put on sale. We couldn't be risking our own valuable staff, so we decided to put the media community at risk instead.
That spokesperson was rapidly tasered by a waiting member of the Pilots Federation security team, and a replacement quickly brought out.
What my colleague meant it was that we value the insight of the press into our new launches. There are definitely no safety concerns about the new Python Mark II.
So, yeah, that clears that up. However, the Python Mark II is here, or nearly here, depending on whether that rectangle dangling around your neck says press or not. Oh, it's so tempting to do what it says. So, what do we think? Flossy had this to say.
I like it.
But about the preconfigured Thargoid combat ship she was also given to try out...
Well, if I was into shooting the space flowers, I might like it. But I'm not, so I don't. I've sold all the parts now anyway.
There are rumours of other forthcoming changes as well, most importantly to the Supercruise Overdrive, used to great effect in bringing Hutton run times down under the most wild claims of the biggest fibbers in the galaxy. Hutton, I made it in 45 minutes, mate. What kept you so long? Anyway, rumours are that the engineers of the galaxy have got their collective heads together and may be working out a way for the new SCO, that's Supercruise Overdrive, drives, to be engineered. Maybe a tad cooler, or energy efficient, or fuel efficient. Could we be seeing Hutton run times being recorded yet again in forthcoming months? We have absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
Commander Lithobreaker is being hailed as the hero Hutton didn't know it needed this week after an urgent message was broadcast on all channels that the orbital was running low on supplies. With Lithobreaker having been sent as Hutton's roving reporter to parts foreign and taking a detour home by way of a number of rather dodgy looking server rooms, where the cable monsters had escaped and were trying to grab passing pedestrians and give them the full terabit terror treatment, courtesy of a big router and some serious pushing and shoving. Anyway, having escaped their clutches thanks to his handy pocket crimping tool and an overcharged cable tester, his shipboard systems notified him that Hutton's snack cupboard was running dangerously low. One quick glance at his current location, Karsuki, and he sprang into action. Having only packed a spare pair of socks and some undercrackers in his humorously oversized luggage, he took one quick glance at the Karsuki Locust trader on the boulevard and said the immortal words,
I'll take it all.
For those that think Karsuki locusts come in only one flavour, insect flavour, you'd be much mistaken. There's Karsuki locust trail mix, spicy Ochinook chili, dusted Karsuki locusts, Aruka sweet and Karsuki locust mixed, Gay One dance dust Karsuki locust, illegal in some jurisdictions, and even the popular chocolate coated Karsuki locusts. Yum. On returning to Hutton, taking his usual slow route for fear of turning the Karsuki Locust and corn kernels combo in his hold into a heat-based space emergency, he promptly fed a few bags to Mrs. Lithobreaker, who determined that they were, and we quote, an acceptably tasty snack. So, if you've never tried deep-fried Karsuki Locust snacks, pop over to the bar at Hutton and give thanks to Lithobreaker that we didn't have to break open the box of quavers again. Like quavers.
It's week 91 of Too Hot Too Messy, the continuing story of Hutton Trucker attempts to deliver a Hutton Mug and Centauri Megagin to every station in the galaxy. For medicinal purposes, you understand. Last week's deliveries finished at 550 mugs and 549 gins delivered. This week sees us sitting at just over 150 mugs and gin delivered. Well, that's a bit odd. Maybe the Hutton helper hamsters have gone on their holidays. Overall deliveries are sitting at just a smidge over 130,000 mugs and a bit over 127,000 gin delivered so far, with an estimated completion date of Thursday, 13th of August 3012. But it's not all bad news. Commander Noddy made it to the 1000 club with 1,040 mugs and gin delivered. Congratulations, Noddy. The traffic jam at Hutton is finally clearing with just 8 runs this week. Sometimes though, quality counts more than quantity, as we're about to find out. The approaches are clear and landing pad availability for small craft is classed as hunky-dory, while the medium pad is sitting at not too shabby. The top 5 Hutton runs are listed below, but we thought we would draw your attention to Stargoid's time, which is even faster than Vulcarius achieves when he used high prediction technology to get to Hutton. Stargoid, 31 minutes 44 seconds. Satellis Nuke, 1 hour 5 minutes 26 seconds. Core Badger, 1 hour 8 minutes 8 seconds. Third Lemon, 1 hour 26 minutes 7 seconds. And Basque 243, 1 hour 26 minutes 54 seconds. Breaking news, we have a new record. Happy Moon Monkey, 31 minutes 18 seconds.
With the news that the Pilots Federation is opening their new prefab division for spacecraft, buying up part-built ships from the major manufacturers and selling them in kit form via various outlets, our team have been investigating whether this is just a cunning marketing ruse or a genuinely brilliant way to get commanders to come and help with the Thargoid War. For many commanders, the thought of going to visit Vulcarius as he takes on yet another Titan is tempting. Charging your way into the middle of a Tharglet-infested green corrosive cloud, dodging the odd scythe, a new high predictions, some mines, marauding marauders, and inevitably some caustic missiles. But then there's the other thought, your pride and joy, your exploration aconda, or your pirate-bashing Federal Corvette disco ball kitted out with turrets and point defence and a cool paint job. Can you face re-engineering that beastie into something that means you'll last more than 2 seconds after dropping this into the system? Then again, even if you can, getting the right gear involves doing stuff, and other stuff. It's taking up your time. But you glance over at your bucket of ARCs, the galaxy's equivalent of coupons. I wonder to yourself, a pumpkin head for your spacesuit and a nice knitted jumper? Or a spaceship? After all, other than a pot of paint, or maybe some blue neon and a fat exhaust pipe for your radar, along with a sub in the boot and the lowered landing gear, what else are you going to spend the 800 ARCs you've earned every day on? So you pop along to your nearest flat-pack spaceship superstore with a bundle of virtual ARCs, and you grab a giant trolley and start browsing the aisles. After getting lost for 3 days, but determining that you want that particular model of ship, you head down to the warehouse section and, using a little pad and a cunning little pencil, arrive with a note taken of all the bits. After 10 minutes, you give up as one of the shop staff who tells you that the bits you need are on aisle 5.3. Load them onto your trolley and head through the giant checkout. Once home, you open the instructions and realise that you look just like that little cartoon man scratching his head on the first page. So you call the store and ask them to do it for you. And hey presto, one flat-pack spaceship ready to go and only 5 screws left over at the end. And the meatballs were delicious too.
Reports are coming in that after last week's rumours that a Stargoid, that was in inverted commas, had been seen on approach to Hutton at speed, that there have been not one, but multiple sightings of an inbound flaming ball of something approaching Hutton, pumping noxious green gases out of every port on his ship, and gargling at passing commanders in what we can only describe as a most disconcerting fashion. The character piloting this vessel was seen wandering about the concourse, waving many limbs at people and spooking small children. After wandering into the bar, he caused Cecil to drop his drink, Gusto the Clown to cry so hard that his face paint ran, and Floor Mopping Guy had to sort the situation out by wielding his number 3 mop like a bow staff and fend off the many-limbed monstrosity when he attempted to break into the display cabinet full of LCU-provided relics. As of yet, the Hutton Momus Bog Spaniel security team have not managed to take matters into their own paws, as most of them are hiding under said paws in the management office. Turns out that the Visiting Stargoid has found their weak spot, and is wearing a little speaker that broadcasts, "Bad dog, get in your bed," when anything with 4 legs and a waggy tail gets near him. Mooncake, however, was less afraid, and indeed decided that dropping from a ceiling vent onto the Stargoid's head and trying to unscrew it by planting all 4 beclawed paws in what looked like delicate locations, and while hissing and spitting, attempting a Bengal's kitten-style ninja dismemberment of the Visiting Stargoid, all the while biting what might be his or her or their ear. Of course, what we didn't know was that the Stargoid was not an actual Stargoid, or even a Thargoid, but president of the Titan Tourism Fan Club, space pilot and media personality, and was just there wearing a costume, and attempting to beat the Happy Moon Monkey for the Hutton Run title for the week. Nurse Wyeth has treated the scratches with iodine, provided a well-placed there, and the apology officer has been dispatched with suitably worded platitudes and promises that anything marked Stargoid on approach to Hutton will not be fired upon with extreme prejudice. Except if it's on fire, and in danger of hitting Hutton, in which case the fire brigade will be using the long hose and a lot of pressure.
Federal good taste prosecutors have had to backtrack this week after outgoing President Hudson appeared in court to defend himself against charges of breaking a gag order recently imposed by federal courts. While temporarily holding office while President-elect Winters is continuing to deal with the ongoing situation on her home planet, he has been slapped with a number of gag orders preventing him making personal statements about her family, her family's dog. This kind of gag order is not that unusual, as the Federation normally approves of free speech, but does have laws about insulting the office of the President, which, if found guilty, means the perpetrator is sent somewhere horrid to do really hard time. Hudson has been most unpleasant about his upcoming successor, but claims presidential immunity for all the mean things he's been saying. Arguments from his defence attorneys have included that the president can do no wrong while he is in office and suck it up, Buttercup. The legal debates have centred around whether an outgoing president is still a president after they've left office, even if they've not actually left it yet, and whether he's still entitled to the privileges afforded to someone who is in the office, merely to lie through his teeth all the time. With the majority of his scurrilous claims having attracted fines, the more serious one, that Winters should be hung by the ankles, has caused a few red faces. As what he means is the portrait of Winters should be hung next to those painted by legendary 32nd century New Renaissance artist Frankel Ankles. Definitely not the actual president-elect and the aforementioned body part. Needless to say, there are a number of his supporters that made the mistake and have been chanting "String her up" a lot, which may or may not have been his intention all along. But just to be sure, the prosecution have withdrawn their case on that count and issued an apology, as long as Hudson puts the Winters by the ankles.
Well, it's time for Hutton's paddle into the murky waters that are the BGS. So, with 100 trucker presence in 46 systems, this could take a while. I'll do what I can to keep the list as short as possible and mention only the interesting ones. Okay, boomers. It's mainly peaceful this week, but there are a couple of little jobs that need doing. Lots of booms and non-states, with a couple of infrastructure failures thrown in to keep it interesting. But when I say non-state, I mean a place where nothing's happening. Not that the nuns have taken over. At the top end of the influence chart, with the "leave this one alone" warning lights flashing, are Treppin, Wolf 124, LP 245-10, Georgie's Pants, and Wolf 562. When they go over 60% influence, we try to leave them alone until they settle down a bit. It's all a bit dull at the bottom of the influence table, with the lazily flashing red lights all over the place. There are a few exceptions though. Any of those where we own a station are good for running in supplies. Just check the pad size before you set off with a Type 9 full of nodding head hula dolls. For example, V857 Centauri is pretty dull state of nothing happening, but since we have a station there, you can run in supplies. It's medium pad, surface facility though, so that might be more hassle than it's worth. Atagat and Wolf 294 are pretty much the same. Hazel and Avik are languishing a bit, but 36 of Yuchi looks like a much better prospect. It's in need of an influence boost, is in boom, and we control a Coriolis station there. It's a wee bit of a trek from the drop-in point, but that won't stop Hutton truckers, especially the ones with Super Cruise Overdrive. There are ongoing wars in Ross 33, G99-49, and Atagat. To be honest, they're all dumps, so of course the EDF live there. Leave them alone. We have some infrastructure failure in Barnard's Star and LHS 450, so get over there with food and machinery of all types. For the love of Alv, and don't leave it to David Bruben and the Dockers to sort it out. But what does it all mean? Well, my best guess would be, if you want to truck it, then truck machinery and food to our stations in Barnard Star. You can also truck it in a ship to Katzenstein Dock in 36 Ophiuchi, where we are in boom, or to any of our other systems showing boom status. If you want to shoot it, then go to whatever Thargoid Titan Volcaris is beaten up this week and get stuck in. He assures us there are fabulous prizes to be won. And that's it for this week's Hutton BGS report.
And we are back in the studio. Oh, everybody, relax. Now, yes, one of our presenters is missing. Someone's kidnapped Amelia. Dum dum dum.
Dun dun dun.
But what we do have is we have a studio full of other presenters. Where we have the Litho Breaker, who is back from parts foreign.
Hello.
With a major-sized snack attack. Hang on a second. If you think the news was made up, that is my big tub of Karsuki locusts. Yum.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, look, there's a coconut-covered, super sweetened Karsuki locust. Mmm. Watch this one. This is a tub of tropical Karsuki locusts.
Oh.
With roasted Karsuki locusts, sweetened banana chips, banana for scale, of course, dried sweetened Karsuki locusts, coconut-coated Karsuki locusts, chocolate Karsuki locusts, almonds, yogurt-flavoured Karsuki locusts.
I'm thinking as well, Karsuki locusts are sort of low-fat, high-protein.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've just taken them all and coated them in sugar.
Yeah.
And fat.
Yeah, and fat.
And fat. And salt. Don't forget the salt.
Yep. So, thank you very much, Litho, for stocking up the station. We do understand that the Mrs. Litho did approve of some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
She's hidden the bag of them somewhere, so I'm not sure where they are anymore.
Yeah. Now you see, there's a dangerous bag here that I
that's
deliberately
clever.
didn't open before the show, Litho, and it's the caramel macchiato Karsuki locusts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
which
was touch and go whether that was the one that she kept.
chocolate pretzel shaped Karsuki locust, coffee glazed Karsuki locusts, coffee dusted white chocolate Karsuki locusts, salted caramel praline Karsuki locusts, peanuts, and cashews. But you see, the thing that you didn't tell you in here is it's actually got whole coffee beans in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a jolly good thing I didn't open that packet before the show, because I may have
still be
just
crunching now.
Yeah, jibber jabber jibber jabber jibber jabber jaffa. Yes,
Yeah,
I may
because
have
you're not doing that now, are you?
No, not at all. I may have eaten a lot of the other
Compared
ones.
to neat coffee.
Anyway, so thank you very much. And then we've also got the apology officer. I'm not going to apologise for anything. That's your job.
Good.
And if
Yes,
you
that's my
miss
job.
things that need apologising for, that's also your job.
I take it halfway seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not completely seriously, but, you know.
We are joined by Sing-Along Flossy.
Hello.
Yep. We will be singing along with Flossy later before she introduces this week's awesome community goals. Legendary, awesome community goals for stuff. Yep. And we have Volcarius back in the studio again. Hello, Volcarius.
Good evening, Hutton Orbital. I'm not one of those apology onionists, unfortunately, but I'm here. So
You're not an onionist.
You're not in the apology onion.
Yeah. You don't make people cry, or you've got layers, but you don't make people cry.
best not comment.
Right. Well, yes, and hopefully you've got some. I haven't put any new pictures up, but hopefully you've got some updates for us on that really long super cruise and a few Thargoidy things in a bit.
Yeah, of course I do.
Ah, awesome. Other than that, I suppose we better look into what's been going on this week. Frontier live streams?
No, it was last
not this
well-
week. There was one last week, but we never
There
got
was-
a chance to talk about it.
There was one, then no show. So technically, yes.
Okay, so we better catch up on that one a little bit. Does anybody know what was in the one about the show that didn't happen?
Type 8.
The Type 8?
Yeah, it was all about the Type 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all final 15 seconds of it.
Right.
I honestly, I thought you'd be all more excited about the Type 8. Like that's Lakon. That's where's Buck? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
we were absolutely convinced that the Type 8 got scrapped.
Yeah, I thought you were just at a wind up there.
Yep. Okay, so other than the freshly scrapped Type 8, what else was in there? I mean, they talked a bit more about poor play.
It was a very,
Yeah.
very deep. That was the actual deep dive into power play.
It was a
It actually looked quite
really
good,
deep
yeah.
dive, yes. Into the colouring pens they've been using to colour sections of space, and how it works. I mean, are there any good takeaways from that one?
For me, it was how the merits don't decay anymore.
Oh, right, so they're cumulative.
Yeah, so at present, for anyone who's new to the whole power play thing or hasn't really paid attention to how the merits work, they halve every the merits you get, they halve every week, like the ones you get, and that happens for 4 weeks, and then after that they don't halve, they disappear. So like the ones you got 4 weeks ago eventually disappear. So you just have to keep getting merits upon merits if you want to retain the bonuses for pledging.
It's a
but
bit like being a
now
Boy
that's
Scout. You need your merit badge.
But like it's got massive merit inflation though. Like you have to keep getting them. Whereas now the new one, it's as I read it, it's fixed. You just go up. There are more tiers and there are stretch tiers, but they don't decay or anything. You
There'll
just
be
keep
tiers
getting
before
more rewards,
bed.
Yeah.
So it's additive, not multiplicative. There we I nearly got that one right. Yes. So, but not divisive. Power play never divisive. Have they talked about any other changes to do with what about all these little sort of Swiss cheese holes in spheres of influence where independent groups such as Hutton may claim certain systems that definitely aren't anything to do with Hudson. No,
Well, they mentioned how the lower population systems, it would be easier to take them, so you could send out like a wing if that, and
well, yeah, we knew that one. It's the same as the BGS, isn't it? You know, you go over to the naughty step, it takes one guy farting loudly outside the front door, and the whole system's collapsed. But
apparently you can. I suppose you could go to one of Hudson's stronghold systems and start like attacking those carrier convoys. I can't remember what they were.
Yeah, but this isn't to do with flipping the ownership of the system so much as just telling Hudson, this is not in your sphere of influence, or the Empress, or that hippie guy, or the dreadlocked dude, saying, yeah. So this doesn't have an effect directly on systems, other than the colouring scheme they're using, I think. And by the way, there is a stern warning: if they try and colour in our station with lots of presidential posters, we will be most put out. But, okay, and then Flossy. Obviously, they talked a little bit about the Python 2.
Yes, they did, yeah.
Yeah, and you got your hands on one.
Yes, I have.
You robbed them. You went to the press junket, right? They left the keys out. You picked them up and went, oh, a Python, and drove off with it, or flew off with it. So, there are lots of media streamers out there putting awesome videos of flying them, and I'm sure Commander Wotherspoon's going to talk about them later. But we want our first-hand experience from Flossy. How does it feel? Is the chair comfy? Does it go up and down? Does it adjust? Can you reach the pedals?
Yeah, everything is just.
Does it make a cool noise when you boost?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they fixed any dodgy wiring, or is it a bit ropey on the inside?
It looks all right to me. I must admit, I didn't really look at the wiring.
Right.
In the Python 2, is the helm in the middle, or is it offset?
Oh, it's offset again, isn't it?
It's offset. Offset, yes. It's like driving a car, isn't it?
So, and obviously the pointy bit. What's different about the Python Mark II? So it's got.
It's sort of slightly. It's a bit wider than the normal Python.
It
comes out more at the back.
It looks like Firefox from the movie in the 1980s with Clint Eastwood.
Oh yes.
Yes, that's kind of what it looks like.
But the hard points are slightly different, aren't they? I think
they are. Yes.
So instead of many medium and a couple
2.
of larger, it's 2 medium and 4 large now on this one.
It is. Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's one extra large over the previous one.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got your 2 mediums sit on the top. You've got 2, so they're kind of top either side of the canopy, just behind the cockpit canopy, and they sit either side. You've got 2 larges that sit up near the back at the top, and then I think there's a centre mounted large as well, and there's one kind of underneath a sort of chin turret thing underneath. Which it's still the only one underneath, but if something's above you, it's doomed.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of like with the Mamba. All of its hard points deploy upwards. So.
Yeah. But then the Mamba's got the manoeuvrability to not get things underneath it if you're clever. But
there is that. So
this is pretty nippy.
Yeah, I was going to say it remains to be seen whether that's going to be like the new frag machine. With all the class 3s. Certainly the agility is going to be everything. I'm absolutely sure Alexandra will try it out and give quite an in-depth
That was
review.
kind of when I was looking at it last night. That was kind of my setup. That's my standard setup anyway. Is 2 medium beams, and then not frag cannons but multi cannons. So I went with multi cannons on that because I quite like to get into the surface if I'm going on a surface mission, and if there's a interloper, shall we say, around the base, I just like to fire rockets at them and things like that. But sometimes I like to use the lasers and watch them scatter as you fire laser beams at them. It's fun.
Right.
And if one of those if you say one of the, I didn't know the locations, but if one of the large hardpoints is underneath,
It is.
yeah, so a lot of its usefulness there is going to depend on whether it's behind or in front of the landing gear and or the cargo scoop.
I think it's in front of the landing gear. I can't be 100%
That's good. That's
certain,
good. That's,
but I think it is.
best,
Yeah, that's kind of where you want it for a torpedo or something, don't you?
That's where you want it for a combat vessel, because the when it comes to a lot of commanders talk about it as scoop boosting. When you do more combat, you tend to think of it as gear boosting. Because the landing gear doesn't use any power, so you can. Whereas you need power to use the cargo scoop to do that.
Right.
Trick.
Well, I've got some pictures on the screen which may help. One of them, Flossy, is that you?
Yes.
My goodness, you look like some kind of deadly ninja there. So that's deadly ninja Flossy. You can see her shoulder-mounted pan there. I love the special handle you've got on that pan over your shoulder. And then there is an aerial shot of the one what you robbed. Is that a ship kit on it as well, or is that how it comes with all the winglets and bits and bobs?
That's how it comes. I haven't added anything.
All right.
That's a ship kit.
Yeah, I think the test version has got all the bells and whistles. You know, it's like a showroom edition.
Those big wings at the back, those big kind of semi-upright things. And those two wings sticking out for the side are ship kit parts.
All right, there we go. We got an aerial shot of you on a pad there.
I know nothing about ship kits.
That might be your pre-built one or something. They maybe stuck it on the pre-built one or something.
Well, it's certainly got a funky paint job on there as well.
Oh yeah,
and there you go. Answering Valkyrius, there's a shot. There's a shot through the cockpit, showing.
Can you go back to the? Can you go back to the previous image actually?
There we go.
So look at those two circular. Those look like eyes. It looks like it's got a face.
It does. Yes. It's quite a happy face,
it is a pie thing. Yes. And then here's Flossy sitting in the offset. So you are in the left-hand seat there, Flossy.
Yep, I am.
Yep, we can tell it's you. There's knitting next to you.
White hair.
Yeah, no, the knitting. And you can see the really big hard point above your head there.
You know what I did notice?
What's going on with the? Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, you'll love this. There's a new first aid kit in the cockpit.
Oh, awesome! Is there still a copy of the Dark Wheel or the Trader's Manual tucked into something somewhere?
No, that's the Sidewinder.
Ah, okay.
So what's up with that grill on the right of the ship, which is the left of the image? That's quite asymmetric.
It is quite asymmetric, isn't it?
Or is that like a hardpoint deployment and you've not got?
No, that's a heat vent.
That's the toast rack.
Yeah, that's the toast rack. There's a heat vent there somewhere.
Because I can see also.
Let's have a look on a previous image. Can we see it in the previous image? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's there. It is definitely there. There's an asymmetric look to it there. But it's not a hard point. That's just a heat vent.
Yeah, there was a hard point on the top that was deployed. That's
you can see it in this image. Yeah.
Yeah, if you only had one weapon there, that's fine. But it was a bit strange that.
Jump back in after the show, Valkyrius, deploy some hard points and let you have a look and see what's under there. You know where it comes out.
Yeah, multi-crew into Flossy's one. Yes. Anyway,
no, I can launch my own.
Yeah, and there's those circular thingies. Now, Flossy, it was not just that you robbed, was it?
Maybe not.
What's this? It's green.
You're not asking me to name it, are you?
Is it green or is it bronze? I'm colourblind, but anyway.
It's green, yeah.
It begins with a C. Is it a Chieftain?
Chieftain,
that's it, yeah.
Yep. And is this one a pre-configured anti-Thargoid bashing Chieftain?
It is.
Which you sold all the parts for, so you had more money for your other ships, didn't you? So you can't tell us how
the parts, you don't get anything.
Oh.
You sell the parts for nothing.
And then then there's a Lacon here. That looks like a Type 6.
Yeah, Type 6, yeah.
With a new Lacon paint job on it, but that's pre-configured for use in other operations.
Yeah.
You robbed one of them as well.
That's a mining ship.
Yeah,
and this is a Diamondback Explorer. Yeah. That one looks quite cool, and that's a pre-configured one.
Very shiny.
Yeah, that's pre-configured for exploration. Would you believe?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a Diamondback Explorer.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, was that everything? So you really did just rob the place. Oh, and there's a naked python. Avert your eyes. That's the naked python Mark
the naked
II,
one.
in its ninja native sort of military grey there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to see the hard points up above.
Yeah, there's the one above your head, and there's a couple behind. Must be a couple behind somewhere.
There is two big, see in front of those vents that are closed. See the L-shaped vents? Yeah. There's two big doors in front of them.
It looks like there's 3 in a row there. One in the centre bit line as well.
Yeah. I think that
might have to give that a go. And then we're back to Flossy. Now, obviously, the flat pack ship kit super special. There's been a lot of controversy about it, and people using 3-letter acronyms like P and 2 and W. But no, it's a fair point what we spoke about in the article that hey, you've got arcs, dusty arcs in the corner that you've not spent anything on, and if you want to go and play with Volcarius, you could always just bust out the arcs and go and get yourself a Chieftain thug splatter.
Yeah.
Which should at least get you somewhere near the heart of things to come and join in. So yeah, I don't have an objection to it. And if the Pilots Federation's making a couple of bob off it as well,
I think they work. I mean, real life stuff. They work in a different environment from where they used to work as well. Everything's. It's they're in a different world. They really need to be able to make money and things like that as well. So, they're not tearing the proverbially at what some other.
And you can still get these things by actually spending game money on your squillion credits. I think in the autumn at some point they're opening up. Are they? To normal purchase. It's pre-order. Arcs is for getting it now, but not Arcs is for getting it later on. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it since August. You'll be able to just buy it as a normal ship.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, when Flossy flies past in her cool outfit, you just go, "Ooh, look at her in her fancy car." I mean, shit. Yeah. That noise in the background was Flossy. One of the pythons going past.
That shot on that's up at the moment with me sort of crouching was the nearest I could get to showing a bit of ankle.
Well, I do think this shot here should be the promo shot for Crouching Flossy Hidden Hardpoint, the new movie. Yes. Actually, if that hardpoint opens, you're going to get yeeted into space at that point. Stand by.
You've got to try that. That sounds legit. That might be a thing you can actually do.
You think that could be an actual?
Open the hardpoint in. Yes. Actually, we haven't tried that, so we do need to try that. Maybe we have to try that on maybe our next show. We might have to go live in space and take a few of us down to a planet and see if we can yeet Flossy using a hardpoint.
You need one of the ships,
nice.
one of the ones that deploys by flipping open instead of sliding. I've noticed a few various different manufacturers open differently. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think the ones on the Vulture are like a kind of. They're like one of those kind of concertina things, aren't they? They slide back.
Yeah, I think the Anaconda has a flippy one, but that's underneath, so you'd have to turn it.
I'd have to go upside down, then put Flossy on the ship, and then Flippy, and yes.
Python and Python 2 are Flippies.
Yes. But there are no more hints about what any other ships that might be coming might be.
Apart from the Type 8.
No.
You rotter.
He said, well, that's what I'm just saying, like, that's what Arthur said in the last few seconds.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone remembers. But...
Yeah, he said the next new ship is the, what was it, the Type 8.
Well, we're going to have to severe words. Is it a branding exercise? Is it actually a Type 11? And they've just stuck a Type 8 on it for completeness sake. But on that basis, where's the Type 5?
Are you saying maybe
where does the slippery slope the Type O? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it's probably because Sally's not there anymore to sort of slap him with a big sticker that says, "Stop speaking now." Yes. Okay. So that was the live stream stuff. So this is apparently available for ARCs from next week. I think it's the 7th, the 17th, the 7th that people can actually get other than Flossy. can get their hands on one of these and have a look, a quick shufty at it, and then I'm sure everybody's going to go out there trying to shoot things with it and determine that it's either awesome or bad or both.
Okay.
And Volcarius, by next week's show,
I've had a quick look at the hard points on the Python.
Yep.
So you have got up at the back in front of those vents. You've got two hard points, two big hard points.
Yep.
And then a third one and like a dorsal one in the middle, sort of just forward of the two tail fin things. Then if you go a bit forward again, either side of that, you have got the two mediums, and you've got the one underneath which looks pretty kind of chin mounted to me. It's certainly in front of the landing gear. I don't know about the ramp, but I've got a screenshot that I'll send to Volcarius.
Well, I wouldn't worry too much, but in front the landing gear is where it needs to be for most purposes.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, ships such as the Fer-de-Lance, or in fact probably almost entirely the Fer-de-Lance, a huge hard point is behind the landing gear, and it legit blocks certain weapons.
Right. I am going to...
Right. Well, moving on from the Python, I suppose it's time for coming into some space news. And there's some space news we haven't got in here, and it's actually only a video, but I may have to talk about it anyway. That's dead exciting. So let's run the audio. Hang on a second.
Space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news.
It's dead exciting, this tune. Right, well, so first up this evening... well, we can't really... I'm going to have to talk to Litho about the transparent colouring pens that he gave me for these things. Because I'm sure there's a way for me to get rid of the transparent colouring pens somewhere. So I can actually read the screen.
There is. We'll work it out one.
We'll work it out somewhere. Anyway, the first one that you can't read currently on screen is that Voyager 1 has had a patch.
Yeah, it did go a patch.
Do tell.
Well, it was broken and now it's kind of a bit fixed. It needs more patches, but there was something inside it packed up, one of the processors or something.
Yeah, it was spouting gibberish, apparently.
It was sending gibberish. Now it's sending sort of coherent stuff again, but they haven't got all the things working that they need to have working, so there's still more work to do. But yeah, they managed to patch 50-year-old spaceship that's billions and billions
15
of
billion
away.
miles away. They applied a patch of
billion
15 billion miles. That's 24 billion kilometres for those of you who measure in bananas.
What they seem to have done is, instead of running it through that one processor, they've divided the work up between other processors. So they pretty much set up a new kind of program to manage.
They just reprogrammed all the chips.
Yeah.
But spread the code across them and in a modular fashion so that if one bit breaks, it doesn't knacker the whole thing. And but it takes 22 and a half hours for signals to reach us. So they managed to patch it 15 billion miles and 22 and a half hours away.
Yeah.
And
astonishing, isn't it?
I mean, it just boggles the mind that when they designed it such that they could do that kind of manipulation of the contents of the chips remotely without actually having it, explode, implode, veer off into the distance. Rewrite and reboot.
I think the hardest part was finding someone who could still program in BBC Basic.
Yes. 10 print LO 20 go to Uranus. Yes.
Yes.
Don't want to scare you, but this predates BBC Basic by
19
years.
1977 it departed.
Yeah. Don't forget the spacecraft always used 10-year-old hardware anyway because it's all been validated and certified.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be machine code. I mean, it's assembly language, isn't it? Yeah. It's all programmed in assembly. So
you do know that its power comes from radioisotope thermoelectric generators, don't you? RTG.
I didn't,
want to get
but I
Sorry,
do
if
now.
you, yeah,
I
yeah.
was just thinking that through in my head to be sure it wasn't like a rude acronym.
No, it wasn't. It really isn't.
Nope.
Sadly.
Basically, it's a
I-
big chunk of plutonium that gets nice and warm and slowly cools down over time.
Yeah.
Also, I just put 15 billion miles into light seconds in the Unix app on my my Unix terminal here, and it says it's 80,000 light seconds.
Okay,
How fast
so
that in, like, years?
with Super Cruise
It's a lot less
Overdrive,
than
that's
0.22.
that's a couple of
That-
seconds in Super Cruise Overdrive. Yes.
Yeah,
Is it not?
522.
I know when you look on, if you actually go in game to look for it, it's something like 2.5 million light seconds from Sol.
Yeah, but that's 1,000 years
That's
later.
1,000 years later, yeah.
Yes.
It's still moving.
Yes. So they've calculated all that in as well. But yeah, you can go and read it. And I don't know if it's Voyager 1 or Voyager 2 where the nameplate's been slightly damaged and it reads Voyager.
Oh right, and there's a big
Yeah.
lightning-filled cloud and dramatic music.
No, sadly, sadly
wait. Are you saying they destroyed the Oya in?
yes, yes. It just says Voyager. There's a big kind of dirty patch or something across the rest of the words. So, yeah. For fans of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, that's probably how they'd find a person that can still program in BBC Basic. They'll be the same
I saw
person
that
that
on
watches
cinema
that.
when it first came out.
Yeah, there you go. It's Jim. Jim's the guy that can fix Voyager.
Right.
Yes.
Old.
Yeah, he's old. Okay. So next one is the Mr.
Oh
Dusty
my
Accord.
goodness, it's all broken. So the next one.
I did
Let's
this
get-
last week, so I don't remember what it's about now. Robots.
So this is preventing space contamination. These are the Mr. Dusty Accords.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting the article coming up.
All right. So it's all about contamination
Mm-hmm.
in space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, they've got to clean it up, haven't they?
So all the scientists are getting together in the UK here. You know, they're definitely not going swimming in the Thames because they might pick up some contamination of their own. And they're discussing the best ways of protecting our planet and other celestial bodies from contamination. So they're looking about how to protect Earth from extraterrestrial life, which, given the next article...
That you're walking through a forest.
What? My goodness.
It's
there audio?
playing things.
It's not.
I
That wasn't me.
wonder who that was.
Oh, no idea. Anyway, so they are... Here we go. Look, there's them being very, very clean.
Yes, in the clean
processing
rooms.
sample in the clean room in Utah. And there is Professor Karen Olsen-Francis, and talking about private companies and space agencies, all of whom have been invited to make sure fungi, bacteria, viruses, and spores do not disrupt biospheres in other locations. Well, it's a good thing, because we wouldn't want to get to Mars and find that something we took with us rampantly grew and turned into person-eating monstrosities like some bad sci-fi movie.
Yes. Attack of the purple spaghetti monster.
Yeah, or the bright green, or whatever it is. The other one
which
is...
started out as someone's sneeze.
Did you write Red Dwarf? It sounds exactly like the script.
Yes, it could well be. Now, there was an international team of astronomers. I'm just trying to find the article, which no, it's been done as a video, and I don't want to do the video.
That sounds like a kid's cartoon character, doesn't it?
I'm just trying to find a website. Okay, well, there's an article here, potentially. So basically, I was watching our Space News channel on the Hutton Discord, and somebody put up a YouTube video. Unfortunately, it was from one of these dodgy news channels like LBC or one of these chat channels, but they had serious content for a change, and there was a really excited astrophysicist from the University of Cambridge, and they've discovered the presence of certain chemicals on an exoplanet that at the moment they can't rule out that it comes from life, as in it's on this planet. These chemicals are only created by microbial life on planet Earth. and they've
Is it
discovered
like
it.
phosphine and things like that?
No, I was trying to find.
idea.
Dimethyl sulfide has been found on K2-18b, and it has only one source on our planet: living beings.
Well, if it's dimethyl sulfide,
It comes from phytoplankton in marine environments.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So this planet they've been looking at, K2-18b, discovered in 2015, orbital duration of 33 days, and it's 8 and a bit times the mass of Earth, and 2.6 times the radius of Earth. And they're saying it's a 50-50 chance at the moment that that it was actually present on the sample that came through, the picture or imagery that came through the James Webb Space Telescope. If it proves that it was, at the moment, the only way we know this can exist is from life.
Yeah.
And that's quite cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a phosphine thing on Venus as well. We never got an explanation for that, really, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, there's no phosphine there.
No.
They get it checked and everything.
Yeah, they had it checked,
They did.
and then it got debunked. I think the phrase is debunked. Yes,
And that was about a 98% chance that it was phosphine, in the same way as this is a 50% chance of DNA.
Yeah,
well, there's a 50% chance that there is not a glitch in the actual JWST data. But if there isn't, then there's a 100% chance they found that thing. But then they've got to work out, well, is there another way that it could possibly exist that's not life? Because the only way we find it in planet Earth is through life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, Dr. Niku Madhustan. Anyway, he apparently hasn't slept for a week. He's got the fidgets because he might be the person at the forefront of having found life on an alien planet.
I think Niku needs to go for a lie down because he's no good to anybody if he's not rested. Or she.
Yeah, so apparently last year NASA revealed that they'd found carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide, and now they've found this. What was it again? Hang on, I'm gonna try.
Methyl disulfide or something.
Yeah, methyl disulfide.
Dimethyl sulfide.
Yeah. So they've now found this as well. So they're basically pointing everything at this other planet to go, oh, cool.
So they're going to focus James Webb Space Telescope and see if anybody's waving.
Yep. Well, they're trying to find out. They think it's a Hycean exoplanet, meaning it's got the potential to possess a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and an ocean-covered surface.
Ooh, a water world.
But with hydrogen-rich atmosphere. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and land a rocket on it. You travel all the effort, and decades and hundreds of years in the future. Our probe gets there and it goes down to land, and the planet goes boom because.
I suppose hydrogen rich is relative to like how much other planets have. I mean, you could say Earth was oxygen rich, but it doesn't.
Earth's like 20% atmosphere is oxygen.
Yeah. But compared to other planets,
hydrogen rich in the region of sort of more like Jupiter or Saturn, so like 60, 70, 80% hydrogen. So no oxygen at all, because if there was, it would get burned.
It would have burnt off
and go woof.
Yeah. Yes.
A bit like what's happening in that picture.
Yeah, I mean they're reckoning that Hycean planets have atmospheres made of hydrogen, helium, and water vapor. Apparently.
Okay. Nice.
But then obviously it's still sort of got all the stuff necessary for life, including liquid water, energy, and organic molecules. There we go.
Yes.
It's a way of getting a liquid water environment much, much further out from the star than would normally be considered to be the Goldilocks zone.
So all the ingredients are there, we just don't know if they've made a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or whether they've just broken the eggs.
Yes. Right. But
anyway, so that was that one.
Anyway.
Are we lined up and ready for the Valkyrius super briefing?
I think I really, do we want Valkyrius to ask me a question first that Amelia would normally ask me?
What? No, we've got to talk Valkyrius bit first.
You want to do Valkyrius bit first?
No, Valkyrius and then that bit. Otherwise, my
sequence on my... Are you scared he won't hang about after the other bit?
No, he won't hang around after the other bit. Look, I'm going to end the space news. Hang on a second.
Just before we do, there is one other piece of space news that broke this week.
Yes.
The initial analysis of the rock samples that came back from asteroid Bennu have been released. Yeah.
Oh.
And the results are in, and they're rocks.
Yes.
Plain,
Yes.
uninteresting, ordinary.
Oh, it's very interesting, but they're rocks.
Yes.
The most interesting thing about them is a lot of them are showing signs of having been in a watery environment.
Oh.
Wet rocks.
Well, they're dry now, but
They're dry now, yeah.
they've been wet in the past. They show erosion. So chunks of Bennu used to be part of a watery world.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a water world again.
Here's where we find out that when something hit Earth, then it knocked off a chunk, and then it's been spinning around the cosmos. Yeah,
and
then
came
it's
back
back again. Yes.
Yeah, came back as Bennu.
Aliens have sent it back saying, dude, litter, come on, pick it up.
Yeah. Bennu, friend of Pingu.
Right, end of space news.
When you don't know where to get more space news, 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 space news.
Got to let the full outro do its thing. Right, and now we switch with no theme tune over to the Volcarius briefing room, where he's pointing at an exploding Stargoid again.
Not the one I sent you, though.
No, you did send one. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna. Can I do that one? Sorry, that was a couple of weeks ago, and life has interfered since then.
Don't worry about that.
Hang on a second. You sent me. What did you send me? I'm just trying to find your message. All 3 Titan Oyas were destroyed. Oh, there's an image. Is that the one you sent me?
I sent you. Did I send you an image? I sent you a video, I thought.
High res image attached. No, I didn't receive a video. I got one on the 11th-ish, and I got the... let's have a look at the attachment on this. I got a JPG of Oya being destroyed 3 times. Ah, yes, I got a video. It's on a web page, actually. Can I download that? Hang on a second. Just wait while I talk amongst yourselves. Oh, my goodness.
It should just be a movie file.
Hang on. I'm getting there. I'm going to switch it in. Yep, it's done. It's loading. Downloads. Talk amongst yourselves. Seams. Many seams.
Well, so the news, that little news snippet I sent you was kind of intended for last week. Here
we go. Here is the Volcarius video live on screen.
Oh, it needs scaling down a bit so you can see the whole thing, but no matter. What I sent was thanks to all 3 drives to clear the 3 Oya maelstroms, all 3 Titan Oyas were exposed to attack. Dozens of squadrons then formed 3 AX groups to destroy 1 Titan Oya each. The 3 Titan Oyas all entered meltdown on the 20th of April 3310 and all exploded on the 21st, within a minute of each other. From the 25th of April, the caustic clouds will all be thin enough for commanders to salvage the 3 wreckages for materials and survivors. These are located in the systems Cephi Sector BV-YB4, Cephi Sector BV-YB4, and Cephi Sector BV-YB4.
Very cool.
Is there an echo in here?
Yeah, and I noticed you've got your finger pointing at a particular spot on that. I mean, that Stargoid there that seems to be about to explode. Every now and again it flashes just where your finger's pointing. So I don't know what that... Oh, watch out. There it is.
There it is. Capacitor.
Yeah, your finger is pointing right at the something that keeps burbling away there. So
just so everyone knows, that was a joke, because if anyone who's been in game at the time would have received 3 messages that said Titan Oya was dying. So
yes, it was dying that hard. We kicked it so hard, we kicked it into the middle of next week, the middle of next month, and tomorrow.
And yesterday.
And yesterday maybe as well, and great Scott. Okay, and people, I can see, Thargoids escaping the custard pot there, so I'm assuming that's normal for when one of these things is about to explode, that they all run away from the custard pot.
That's if you like dubiously earn credits, you can destroy them, but otherwise, they just fly straight past you. I was hiding behind an asteroid there.
Yep,
the
and here it
explosion's about to
goes.
start.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness gracious me. Okay, now the entire audience are now seeing blue dots in their vision from the briefing room. And then you got yeeted, or yote, past tense of to yeet.
I don't know.
Yachted.
You know who used the expert on that? That's Little Grey. Little Grey would know what's the past tense of to yeet.
I mean, yeeted is the most. Yes. I'm just trying to think of the etymology.
Yeah, I suppose it is yeeted, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a yate.
Considering it's onomatopoeic and a neologism, past tense would be yeeted, following the regular formation of past tense. There we go. Yeeted. Yote is the past participle form. So there you go. I've learned something. That's very pretty what's on screen behind you at the moment, Valkyrius. Okay, so that's what happened over at that maelstrom. Oh, I like the vertical bars there, the movie effect there of the... Oh, yes. I mean, that's straight out of the movies. So how are things going over in the, oh my goodness, how far do we have to supercruise system?
Well, as known by, anyone if they can compare numbers and decide which one is smaller. We are hitting Maelstrom Haddad at the moment. And as usual, the best general thing you can do to help is at the spire sites. And also, as usual, you will need Odyssey to access the spire sites, even with just a ship. So go by Odyssey. The best specific thing you can do is the on-foot sabotage, of course. And, of course, there's also destroying Thargoids over the spires. That helps as well. And earns you really big combat bonds if you get the Orpheus. So definitely also do that. There are 2 spire sites exposed, which happen to be Col 285 Sector KW-MC7-15 and HIP 31223. But as before, most other commanders will be at the more popular spire site due to gravity and such, which is in the system Col 285 Sector US-Z B14-7. That's Col 285 Sector, Uniform Sierra-Zulu, Bravo 14-7.
And if you weren't taking notes, I'm sure we'll leave them somewhere once we transcribe them onto things. How can somebody actually find out these details in a written form, should they be researching where they should be taking part in Thargoid activities?
Well, funny you should mention that. I was about to mention that there are also the usual fleet carriers with open research orders, but because those change quite a bit over the course of a week, you can find those and information about where to go for spy sites if you go to the Frontier Forum and go to the discussion, check the Thargoid War thread. The first post always has links to research lists.
I'm going to it now so I can post it up in chat for the benefit. And this would be in the... I'm going to do search on this one. So if I just...
It's pinned. Just go to discussion. It's pinned there.
It's in discussions. Okay, so dangerous discussions. Dun, 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 dun. And it says Thargoid invasion next target systems. And it's the top post, yes?
Yeah, that's
right. So, and for the benefit of our listener, I am going to paste that straight into the Twitch chat, just so they know what on earth we're talking about. That is the thread you're talking about by a certain Alex Zuno, who you may or may not know.
Yeah, very very questionable.
Absolutely.
The top post there, always has links to what we're doing. It has also a list of all the system progress, that if you want to see what commanders are doing.
Yeah, and it historically shows 75 weeks of data.
But at this critical Titan destroying stage, where we also have a specific extra bit at the top for the one we're doing at the moment.
Well, we seem to have had we seem to have been raided quite a lot. I was just watching the chat channel while you were giving your briefing, and there's raid after raid landing on us.
So thank you, Rosa Tequila, 51 people, and for the mug, I guess.
Yeah, and for the mug on that one, and also there was a Maltmeister as well dropped in. Thank you very much, everybody popping in. If you've not listened to Hutton Orbital Radio before, this is all very silly, and this is the serious bit of a silly show where we invite Commander Valkyrios to tell us all about the Thargoids he's been bashing. Hence a picture of Valkyrios there in front of a big screen with a maelstrom blowing up.
I have an update from Amelia.
Oh,
She ate too many Karsuki locusts, fell into a Karsuki locust sleep coma.
Oh, she went into a Karsuki locust coma.
Yeah, she ate too
were
many.
They the chocolate-covered ones? Were they the sugar-coated ones? Which one?
No, not the sugar-coated ones. I think it might have been the night nurse covered ones.
Or the coffee bean ones, and then she had a come down after the coffee beans.
Yeah, not the coffee bean ones. No, oh god. Yeah, although I've heard coffee nap is a thing. Drink coffee, go for a sleep, and then wake up feeling brilliant. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, that is the end of the Vulgarius briefing. I'm going to.
It's almost the end.
Oh, go on then.
Well, yeah, you cut. Well, we kind of. I was going to say well done with taking down Titan Oya. We kind of foreshadowed that one though. A lot of squadrons very happy about that. And there is also a plan in the works for Indra, but it sort of needs that maelstrom to expand a bit first.
So we've got to let them do bad things before we can do bad things. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I know a lot of squadrons want to defend it, Indra, that is. We're totally going there next after Haddad.
Totally.
But yes, absolutely.
Totally, man.
But
yes.
But I promise it's
Are you doing these in alphabetical order? Haddad and then Indra?
Do you want me to get into the
no,
not the order,
no,
but the how the general kind of path it's chosen?
Is it one of those wee things that you open and close like you used to have in school?
What? Opening
one of those wee paper folded things.
Deep Sky Blue, who's it, not you? No.
Yeah, and then you'd open the wee thing and it would say who you'd to attack.
No, it's not super scientific, but it's a reasonable way of.
Well, galactic coordinates 174.545, 179.008, and -21.444. Or right ascension 4 hours 27 minutes 13.448 seconds, and declination 70. Oh crikey! Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know where you got that from, but yeah, I promise for Indra it'll be more helpful to the plan if you actually leave it alone for now.
Okay.
Yeah. So regarding which ones we've attacked, it's kind of a mixture of like how easy they are to attack and how popular they are to attack.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes
Tyrannus
sense.
was by far the most. It was the first one arrived. It probably affected the more minor factions than most of the others. It by far the most popular. It also
I was going to say everybody would want a piece of it then.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst to attack, but absolutely, just the popularity was insane. So it was a very
that makes sense.
Well, Indra is slightly less popular than Tyrannus.
It's fairly popular. So Ligong was second. That wasn't quite so popular, although it was easily the easiest by far. It's so sparse, like the space. There are very few.
That's all going to changes. You know, as you take it the popular ones, and will become the most popular.
Then Oya was a relatively popular one, of course. Now Haddad, popularity isn't as much, but practicality is very, very high. It's the second easiest. Indra is then we're kind of back to popularity. It's actually pretty tough. Not so much for a system strength reason, but for being dense in terms of lots and lots of systems packed together.
So it's in the HIP 20567 system, which has got 29 celestial bodies actually in the system.
Well, it's not so much about that. It's more that the systems around it, like that area of space, is so dense that if you just attack it the way we've been doing it, you're just going to get a flood of alerts, and you're not going to be able to use the spy sites.
Right. Okay.
That's why. So what we want to do is hit it really hard, a lot of systems all at once, so it can't attack them.
There you go. It's got a nice water world.
It should have if it does, I wonder whether I'm not an explorer, so is it more likely if a system has an ammonia world also to have a water world?
It does have an ammonia world and a water world, so it's got one. Planet 7 has got a thick ammonia and oxygen atmosphere.
It better have an ammonia world because all the Titans are above ammonia worlds. So
so it'll be at the ammonia world is 3,000 light seconds away from the jumping point. Is the ammonia world. In that system, I think there's only one. I'm just double checking. 2.
Haddad's better though. It's bigger and it's.
The water world has an ammonia atmosphere as well. So it's a water world with an ammonia atmosphere and an ammonia world in system. There you go.
Probably, there probably is something to do with
Thargoids hoovering fuel or something, So
Vulgarius. Would you like to ask me the question, since Aemilia's not here and since you're the only other person I know that really is interested in Word of the Week, would you like to ask me the question that Amelia normally asks me?
Would I like to? I'm not really sure.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway whether you want to.
I'm a bit of a slubberdigullion about that sort of thing.
Oh,
but,
okay, yeah.
I suppose no. I'm sure it'll be E logo Fucio hip hop canurious if I did. So, can you give us the ballyhoo? Do we have a word of the week?
We do have a word of the week, and word of the week this week is bibble. Bibble. And that means bibble. And it means to drink often, to eat and or drink noisily. And if I'm going to use that in a sentence, that would be, the radio team couldn't hear themselves think for the sound of the apology officer bibbling a McThargoid's tentacle meal in the corner.
Not to be confused with bimbling. Bibbling is
not
totally
to be confused
different.
With bimbling, and certainly not to be confused with wibble.
Correct, yes.
Yes. So, now that that's done.
I was just looking at any of the origins. Do we know anything about this word? Or the etymology?
Apart from no.
Bibble, like wibble.
Bibble. I'm just a bit post in there.
The earliest evidence for bibble is from before 1529 in the writing of John Skelton, poet. There we go.
There you go. So it's proper culture.
It's proper old.
Proper culture.
And it's 0.01 occurrences per million words in modern written English, which means by writing it in this script, you've probably just massively increased.
I've probably put it to 0.02.
Yes.
Because I've used it. I've used it at least twice.
Yeah. Now we don't need to use it for another 30 years.
Yeah, we don't need to use it for the next million words. Okay. So, moving on to something else you probably want to hear for another million words. Why was the anteater sweating?
Has Jeff been to the gym again?
No, Jeff.
Because he was hot.
Gym, you know that. Because eating all those ants was hard work. Hard work.
Hard work. Oh, yeah.
Hard work.
Here we go. There he is. Yes. I was going to put him on the screen, but it looks like I've completely bust everything again on the broadcast. Flossie,
yes?
Are you ready for your bit about this week's super duper? Now it's a randomizer on the tune.
Right. Okay.
So we'll do 3, 2, 1.
Go.
When the universe is in trouble. Bug infestations in the bubble. Your home station's burned rubble. What on earth can we do when your faction leader's a dog and your daily tasks are a slog? You're feeling like a used cog. What on earth can we do now? Interstellar initiatives. Let Flossy tell you what it is. Then you
It's the full one.
With this, you should listen to what Flossy says. Interstellar initiatives. Flossy tells us what she thinks it is. Then you can.
It's almost as if it knows.
With this now you should listen to what Flossy says. Listen to what Flossy says. What on earth can we do? Do what Flossy tells you to. What if she talks
nonsense?
Interstellar initiatives. Let Flossy tell you what it is. Then you can get involved with this. You should listen to what Flossy said. Now we heard what Flossy said. We can put this
It is a long one.
Yeah.
Just
this is awesome.
Voice in your head.
There are voices in my head. They come over the internet. Take it away, Flossie.
Hello, Flossie here with this week's CG news, and what a big one it is. Well, actually, no. There's still no CGs this week, and not likely to be for a while with everything else that's going on at the moment.
Boo.
And that's it for this week's CG news. Sorry.
Flossy told you what to do.
And the short outro. Right, now we go over to Beetlejuice and Witherspoon with this week's Galnet News Digest.
Galnet News Update, 2nd of May, 3310. Many commanders have long expressed a wish that they could help fund the ongoing maintenance of the galaxy. After the initial one-off purchase of a Pilots Federation licence and the occasional purchase of permits to land on planets, the so-called Horizons permit, or to get out of your ship and walk around, the Odyssey permit, there's no ongoing cost to living in the galaxy, and the galaxy is an expensive place to keep running. Planets don't orbit stars all on their own, you know. And so there has been an outpouring of grateful thanks from commanders across the galaxy at the overnight doubling of prices for many items on sale in the ARC's store. The largest price hikes are the price of paint jobs, in addition to some rare paint jobs coming back into stock at 10,000 ARCs. Favourites such as the vibrant paint jobs have been hiked 250%, with some other ranges, as well as the prestige paint jobs, increasing an astonishing 275%. These increases make the 8,000 ARC hike in the price of a suit customisation seem quite modest. The Metro Badlands suit pack, for example, increases from 16,520 to 25,500 ARCs, a mere 55% increase. But weapons customisations have risen even less, with only around a 16% price hike. Engine colours and weapon colours have more than doubled in price to 5,000 ARCs each. That's quite a lot of ARCs for a 3-byte hex code. Fleet carrier layouts are now 16,800 ARCs, up 35%. Fleet carrier paint jobs have gone up 80% to 5,000 ARCs. Some cosmetics have only increased marginally, such as nameplates, which have increased by about 20%. Cockpit bobbleheads have increased by 30% to 8,400 ARCs. Ship kits, already expensive, have increased by 25% to a typical 16,800 ARCs. A Kovas, which would have set you about 8,850 ARCs, now costs 9,250, a very modest 5% increase. Decals remain excellent value, unchanged at between 20 and 100 ARCs. Despite these few items that have remained at their old price, there's now plenty of opportunity to make a financial contribution to help keep the galaxy turning. A grateful gathering of commanders with colourful pitchforks and decorative flaming torches are reported to be marching joyfully towards the Pilots Federation officers at Frontier Towers.
Thank you very much, Commanders Beetlejuice and Witherspoon. Some beautiful pictures there as well. He does do some marvellous camera work, does our Witherspoon. Anyway, there will be no Galnet rares this week, after, as reported earlier, Amelia had a little bit of an accident eating too many Karsuki Locust snacks. You did mention a minute ago that Amelia might be popping in, or is she sort of gurgling away in the background there from the Karsuki Locusts?
I think she's trying to pick locust wings out of her teeth at the moment. She says she'll be in at the end. Yeah. She says she'll be in at the end of the show, which I think is now-ish, isn't it?
Yes, it is about now. Yes. Okay. Well, for the benefit of our raiders who've not joined us before, we are on every single Thursday evening from approximately 20:30. You have missed at the start of the show all of the headlines about the news from around the galaxy. This will be uploaded to the Hutton YouTube channel after the show. It takes maybe about 20 minutes or so you can go back and have a look at it, or you can just join in next week and join in the fun. The broadcasting team this week have been Commander Valkyrius, our superstar guest Thargoid expert. Thank you very much, Commander Valkyrius.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yep. We also have the Queen of the Community Goals, which aren't at the moment, Flossie,
Yeah. Hello.
who tells us
welcome to you all.
everything about the community goals that aren't, but when they are, yes, all community-created community goals, of which the only one at the moment is try and get to Hutton faster than the 31 minutes of the Happy Moon Monkey, who is teensy bit faster than the Stargoid, using the new Super Cruise Overdrive. And hey, if they let us engineer them, maybe we'll go even faster. Can we get it down to 20 minutes? We have got Lithobreaker, the resident, oh my goodness, all the cables have fallen out, what do I do? Super special technician.
That's easy. Trip over them.
And obviously no apologies needed, because we do have the apology officer here as well.
Yeah, I'll do the
Yes.
apologies, thanks.
Yes. If you did spot any seams during this show, then the apology officer has to say.
We're very, very sorry.
But if you
Won't
didn't,
happen. Well, it will happen again.
yeah,
If you did not spot any seams, you obviously weren't paying attention.
Yeah, if
Absolutely.
it happens again, forget that I said anything
Yeah.
this time.
So, on the basis that the extra fluffing out there and padding meant that Amelia didn't turn up, I think we're going to safely assume that there is no Amelia popping in for the end of the show, and we're going to have to send a medic to go and rescue her. What we normally do at the end of the show here is we end the show by shouting for the mug. We're not going to shout it that loudly because Amelia's not here, and then we go and raid somebody else. So I'm just having a look up here. Do we have any recommendations of who is broadcasting at the moment and who might need a raid? I mean, obviously the usual suspects. Ascorbius is live. Ascorbius is a complete legend. We love Scorb, but Scorb's got about 1 million viewers at the moment. Is there anybody else broadcasting that could do with a bit of a lift through loads of, let's have a look, loads of viewers landing on them? There's us live from Hutton Orbital Radio, Thargoid stuff. I think people are trying to get their drops. So LT Psych seems to be that's a German stream, but is a partner and has got drops on, as we do. Is there anybody else? How about Flowtastic? There you go. Flowtastic 91 has drops live and needs some viewers. So we're going to go and raid.
Jinx.
Flowtastic 91 in a second. Other than that, what you're going to hear is the theme tune. What you're going to see are the credits, and at the end of that, when you hear Flossie, tell everybody to bugger off now, because we're buggering off too, or something like that. Then we're going to do a raid, and we'll see you next week. Does anybody have anything to add before I go? No? Well, that's jolly handy.
Yes.
Let's roll credits.
Cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with rail. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, sing the Hutton Trucker song. racing all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. Falling back, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Falling back. Now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Falling back, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. Falling back. Now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?